This will be 5 minutes at 240 words a minute. Jury charge. Ready. A conspiracy is an agreement between two or more persons to commit a crime. A conspiracy may be proven even if its goal was not accomplished. In deciding whether the charged conspiracy existed, you may consider all of the circumstances, including the words and acts of each of the alleged participants. A defendant is not responsible for crimes committed by other people if, before the commission of a crime, the defendant had taken some affirmative act in an attempt to defeat or disavow the goals of the conspiracy by A, completely undermining his earlier acts in support of the commission of the crime so that the acts no longer could support or assist the commission of the crime, or B, alerting the proper law enforcement authorities early enough that they had the opportunity to stop the crimes, or C, performing an affirmative act that is inconsistent with the goals of the conspiracy and is done in such a way that the co-conspirators are reasonably likely to know about it before they carry through with the additional acts of the conspiracy, or D, making a genuine effort to prevent the commission of the crime, or E, communicating to each of his co-conspirators that he has abandoned the conspiracy and its goals. Merely ceasing active participation in the conspiracy is not sufficient to evidence withdrawal. The government has the burden of proving beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant did not withdraw from the conspiracy. A person may use force when he reasonably believes that force is necessary to defend himself against the imminent use of unlawful force. A person may use force that is intended or likely to cause death or great bodily harm only if he reasonably believes that force is necessary to prevent death or great bodily harm to himself. You have heard evidence that the defendant was not present at the time and place where the government alleges he committed the offense charged in count 1. The government must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant was present at the time and place of the offense. Once you are all in the jury room, the first thing you should do is choose a foreperson. The foreperson should see to it that your discussions are carried on in an organized way and that everyone has a fair chance to be heard. You may discuss the case only when all jurors are present. Once you start deliberating, do not communicate about the case or your deliberations with anyone except other members of your jury. You may not communicate with others about the case or your deliberations by any means. This includes oral or written communication, as well as any electronic method of communication, such as by telephone, cell phone, smartphone, iPhone, BlackBerry, computer, text messaging, instant messaging, the internet, chat rooms, blogs, websites, or services like Facebook, MySpace, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, or any other method of communication. If you need to communicate with me while you are deliberating, send a note through the court security officer. The note should be signed by the foreperson presiding juror or by one or more members of the jury. To have a complete record of this trial, it is important that you do not communicate with me except by a written note. I may have to talk to the lawyers about your message, so it may take me some time to get back to you. You may continue your deliberations while you wait for my answer. Please be advised that I cannot provide you with a transcript of any of the trial testimony. If you send me a message, do not include the breakdown of your votes. In other words, do not tell me that you are split 6-6 or 8-4 or whatever your vote happens to be. Verdict forms have been prepared for you. You will take these forms with you to the jury room. The verdict must represent the considered judgment of each juror. Your verdict, whether it is guilty or not guilty, must be unanimous. You should make every reasonable effort to reach a verdict. In doing so, you should consult with each other, express your own views, and listen to your fellow jurors' opinions. Discuss your differences with an open mind. Do not hesitate to re-examine your own view and change your opinion if you come to believe that it is wrong. But you should not surrender your honest beliefs about the weight or effect of evidence just because of the opinions of your fellow jurors or just so that there can be a unanimous verdict. The 12 of you should give fair and equal consideration to all the evidence. You should deliberate with the goal of reaching an agreement if that is consistent with the individual judgment of each juror. You are impartial judges of the facts. Your sole interest is to determine whether the government has proved its case beyond a reasonable doubt and whether the defendant has proved the crime charged beyond a preponderance of the evidence.